How many of you remember your parents telling you, "Have you taken the trash out yet?" My parents still ask my sibling and I that same question. Why don't we sort our trash into recyclables and non-recyclables? You may be thinking, what good would that do? But it would reduce the amount of trash collecting in our landfills. According to how much garbage do we produce in the U.S., we Americans produce nearly 210 million tons of trash each year. Many of us don't even know what recycling is, what importance it has to us and the environment, or how to recycle. By the time I'm finished with my speech, you will all know what recycling is, its importance, and how to recycle common materials. Recycling Basics states that recycling is the process of collecting and processing materials that would otherwise be thrown away as trash and turning them into new products. In simpler terms, recycling is the process of changing waste into new useful materials. Many of you are probably wondering, why is recycling even important? Without recycling, all the landfills will soon be full and closed down. Once the landfills are closed down, we will be drowning in our own trash. Now that sounds disgusting. Recycling isn't just important to us humans, but is also important to the environment. There are many ways that we affect the amount of waste produced in the U.S. Recycling is important states that the amount of waste we create is increasing all the time. Why is our waste always increasing? Our waste is increasing because people are increasing in wealth. People with more money are constantly buying more products and consequently adding to the amount of waste produced. The world is also increasing in population, which is another reason why the amount of waste is increasing. The more people in the world means the more waste that is produced. Companies creating new packaging and technological products also contribute because these products are non-biodegradable. Finally, new lifestyle increases our waste. With everyone starting to always eat fast food, new waste is happening that isn't biodegradable. With increasing waste in many different ways, it makes it much more important that we recycle so that we are not outnumbered by our trash. Recycling is also important to the environment. All the waste is having a very negative effect on the environment. Recycling will help reduce the pollution caused by waste in landfills. The chemicals and greenhouse gases released in landfills harm our planet. Landfills near lakes pollute the water so that no fish can no longer live there. The increase in landfill also kills habitats that animals once lived in. When we recycle, rainforests will be saved and preserved because we will replace what we take from the rainforest, stated by recycling is important. Recycling also reduces energy uses and therefore helps preserve natural resources. When we recycle things such as trees, we are also helping the environment because we are putting healthy trees back in place of old, potentially unhealthy trees, which in turn gives us better and more oxygen since trees help produce oxygen. Recycling is just not important to the environment, but recycling is also very important to us. People need cities to live in, but since the waste is increasing, which means landfills are filling fast, cities will be the next thing that fill with our waste. Recycling reduces financial expenditures on the economy because making products with raw materials costs much more than being made by recycled products, as read in Recycling is Important. Why is recycling important? States that recycling saves the earth, saves energy, helps reduce pollution and global warming, reduces waste in landfills, and saves money. Everyone knows that paper comes from trees, but not recycling paper is causing more trees to be cut down for more paper to be produced. We can lessen the amount of trees being cut down by recycling it. Stated by How to Recycle, recycling products like paper, plastic, metal, and glass can reduce the amount of waste that goes into our landfills. Other items such as furniture, electronic equipment, building material, and vehicles can also be recycled. Another important and beneficial effect recycling has is it helps create new, well-paying jobs in the recycling and manufacturing industries in the United States. Recycling has a very important and beneficial roles in our lives, economy, and environment. Recycling involves 3 steps: collection and processing, manufacturing, and selling. These 3 steps create a continuous loop, the familiar recycling symbol. Recycling Basics states that there are several methods for collecting recyclables like curbside collection, drop-off centers, and depositor refund programs. After collection, the recyclables are sent to a recovery facility to be processed. During the processing part, the recyclables are sorted, cleaned, and processed into materials that can be manufactured as read in Recycling Basics. The recyclables are bought and sold just like other products. The price of the recyclable product also goes up and down depending on the supply and demand. As the recyclables are manufactured out, we close the loop by purchasing products that are containing recyclable material. Now that I've told you what recycling is and how important it is to the environment and the process of recycling, I'm going to tell you the different ways to recycle different materials like newspaper, plastic, aluminum, steel, and glass. Each material has their own specific way they need to be recycled. According to timetorecycle.com, newspaper can be recycled 5 to 7 times. For someone to recycle newspaper, one must check their city's concerning specifics on preparing your newspaper. When you go to recycle your newspaper, you must keep it dry. You don't need to worry about the ads that are left in your newspaper, and also don't use newspaper that you used in bird cages. Once you have recycled your newspaper, it is sent to a de-inking mill for the recycling process. The newspaper is washed in a solution of warm water and chemicals that turns it to mush. Next, in a combination of screening and spinning the mush, ink and other unwanted particles are removed. After another spinning and washing, the mush is bleached and, if necessary, mixed with pulp from trees. This mixture is then squeezed and to remove the water and dried. After finished drying, the newspaper is pressed and ready for shipping. Another material we can recycle is plastic. Plastic has 7 different types, which is represented by the number stamped on the bottom of the containers. Recycling plastic is very easy. First, you need to wash out all the containers. Next, you need to remove any non-plastic lids. You need to make sure that you do not mix different types of plastics unless it is alright by the collector, and make sure to remove all the containers from any bags. You can also recycle aluminum and steel. Each has their own way in which they need to be recycled. Most cities will only accept aluminum cans and aluminum foil for recycling. Many won't accept aluminum siding or guttering. To recycle aluminum, you need to make sure the cans and foil do not have any food or drink left in them. You mustn't mix aluminum with other materials, and you need to remove any non-aluminum materials like grocery bags. Steel materials that can be recycled include folding chairs, fencing, broken tools, play equipment, plumbing fixtures, bike frames, and garbage cans. Iron materials can also be recycled with steel materials. Finally, you can recycle glass. Glass materials need their caps and lids removed before they can be recycled. You need to dump out all the residue and lightly rinse the bottles before you recycle them. It is okay to leave neck rings, paper, and plastic labels on the materials. These things will either burn off or blow off in the recycling process. Now that you know what recycling is, the importance and benefits, and how to recycle some common recycling materials, does that not make you want to start recycling in your own home? You know what recycling is, its importance, and how to recycle, so why not get started making our planet better by recycling?